chỉ bao số y vua đua tứ cả ta nhẹ vua to mu ba mu ua nhẹ cho hậu lư tê tê phong tê như nhẹ vua mu nhẹ y khó lù của mua lo lo xa cho bê tê phú kê tê phú trời phú chế cờ ta lù số phương đu ta mô nó mô kê tư phó địa dồ rau nó chế vua phó vua nhà vua tê phong dư nhỏ về lù sư tử.
He has been part of the EOP program here, Most Student Association, and admissions. Born and raised in Marysville, he is the seventh child and a first-generation college student. Tony's background ignites his passion in both sports and academics and values student success. After graduating from Chico, he plans to pursue a master's in counseling. Please help me welcome Tony Xiong.
The nerves were there. But Xiong, if y'all didn't get that, it was Xiong. It is my honor tonight to deliver the senior address for this incredible group of students right here. And it is also my pleasure to welcome the students, families, and faculties to the API graduation here tonight at Chico State. Each and every one of you has made an impact on the graduates who sit here tonight. First off, let's give a round of applause to the parents who are here tonight for our graduates. Without our parents, we don't know how we would have gotten here if it weren't for them. I would like to thank my parents, my family, my girlfriend for supporting me during these 5 years here at Chico. Mom, Dad, Alright, now we're done with the formality. Let's get to the interesting part. Me. For me, I am forever grateful for my family, my parents, nieces, nephews, girlfriend, and my wonderful dog, Astrid. As y'all can see, I held her by name only. Both my parents were both survivors of the Vietnam War, and they have gone through more than I probably will ever. Knowing how parents can be, I get lectured on a daily basis. And one thing my mom always said to me, and still do to this day, probably like last week already, was, you know, I was gonna say it, Mom, but then I was like, it's horrible. So I'm not gonna say it, Mom, so I'm gonna translate it. I know you are academically smarter than me, but know that I have more experience as well. I never thought twice about it till the other night, and I thought about it. And after, you know, coaching tennis for high schoolers, coaching volleyball for high schoolers, being a paraprofessional for EOP, I realized that my experience can sometimes be greater than my academic knowledge, and that we should never underestimate someone's journey and path that they have worked on. Coming from a Hmong and Asian background, higher education has always been part of my plan since I was young. I've always known that I would come to Chico, and I cannot stress this enough, alright? All of my siblings have come to Chico. My family's a family of 10, right? Excluding my parents, that's 8 of us, and we all came to Chico. My little sister is probably sitting in the audience right now, and she's attending Chico State as a computer science animation major. If you're here, I'm sorry you're not here, but you missed out. So the thing I knew was that starting off, coming to college was an easy choice, but I didn't know if I wanted to come to college. In high school, tennis was a big passion of mine, and I wanted to chase that. By doing so, I wanted to go to a community college and walk on and compete to see if I could get a chance on the team. But I always wondered if I made the right choice by coming to Chico. And I left that journey and came to Chico to pursue a degree where I could do more for the generations after me. But I always questioned that. And it wasn't until my sophomore year that I knew I made the right choice. On the first day of my second semester of sophomore year, I remember going to Billy Lowe. He was an EOP advisor, a friend, and also my former boss. But most importantly, he was a mentor. And I went to ask him, how did I bounce back from having a horrible semester? I had a 1.9 GPA, and was worried about how it would affect my chances of getting into grad school. And from the moment that I stepped into his office, that was the first day of that my college career started. See, one would usually think that it would start during your freshman year, but for me, it wasn't until that moment. During my time with him and talking about my grades, I realized that this journey that I am on is a part of me. What I do with my setbacks, what I do with my life, it starts with me and me alone. The words that I can remember best and can still hear his words as clear as day. Everyone goes on their own journey. Everyone goes on their own path. But what we do and how we learn and grow from those is how we will deeply impact us. With that in mind, that same semester, I ended up getting a 3.925 GPA, just 0.075 short of a 4.0. But I was okay with that. And the reason why is because I learned from that is that there are deepest and darkest moments of our life where we think that nothing's gonna get better. If we continue and persevere, we will. Things will get better. And from this lesson that I learned from Billy, I cannot express my gratitude enough to him that I'm still here in Chico. I hope to be an ounce of what Billy was for me, for future generations to come, and being here in time of need. And since then, I have known I have stepped onto the right journey for me. From a quote that I found on Facebook, yes, Facebook, excuse my mom, by the way. Meaning that don't lust, if you put in the time, you will achieve. And along the way, I've taken up many opportunities to become who I am today. From being a student ambassador to being an EOP paraprofessional, it only strengthened my resolve to pursue my goal of being a high school counselor. From giving tours to new or incoming students, to meeting with first-year students who are far away from home, coaching high school in both tennis and volleyball, the things that I learned created this person that y'all see here on stage. Being able to be a difference in other people's lives mirror the same way Billy has changed my life as well. The people we meet, from the way we live here at Chico, change who we are and allow us to grow as individuals. Being involved with different organizations and departments has allowed me to become more professional and satisfied with how I use my time here at Chico. From being Willie the Wildcat, going through the campfire, surviving the great flood of Chico in 2019, my car almost died, by the way, to surviving this pandemic. We as individuals have probably grown more in these past 4 to 5 years than we did our whole lives. Looking back, what I am most proud of is being able to walk on this journey and able to meet so many different people and experience so many different things. Sure, we may have failed along the way, but that's what's great about life. The failure that we endure will only make us better and stronger. And so tonight, we stand at a crossroad where each and every one of us will take a new direction in our life's journey. Where we go does not matter, but the road we choose to take. I realized that the journey is just as important as the destination itself. For the past 13 years or more, we as students have been on this academic journey full of experiences, challenges, losses, gains, and accomplishments. We went from elementary school to high school, and now we're wrapping up our college life. And one thing I can tell you that it was not easy. It was definitely and certainly unexpected with everything that has happened this past 2-3 years. And, life is constantly throwing obstacles our way. But that's what's crazy about it, is that even though there's always obstacles, we are always going above and beyond, crossing barriers, and finding new ways that we as students have learned and grown from it. By doing so, we are given the opportunity to explore our interests and discover what really excites us. And at what better place than Chico State? Going through this journey of self-discovery, our growth has placed us here tonight. We have become more independent and complete individuals. But one important thing that we must always remember is that we are not going to be perfect and that we will always have room for improvement on our journey. It is important to remember these words. Happiness is to be found along the way, not at the end of the road, for then the journey is over and it is too late. Thank you.
Cha tư thâu ngu là gió kiếm hò mùa cũ kia cổ